With the provisions of the Open Publics Meeting Act, notice is hereby given to the Hudson County Board of County Commissioners that will hold special meetings on Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. and Thursday, June 4th, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. These meetings will be held in the Commissioners' Chambers located at the Administration Building Annex, first floor, 567 Pavonia Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. The agenda of the special meetings is to review the 2026 Hudson County budget by department. No official action will be taken at the special meetings. Copies of this notice have been posted on the Commissioner's Bulletin Board, first floor, Administration Building Annex, 567 Pavonia Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey, on the Commissioner's website, in the office of the Hudson County Clerk, and online for public notice. I'll call the roll.
Yes, please.
Commissioner Pontilivski. Commissioner Basleys. Commissioner Basleys, you're muted.
Bobby, you're muted,
You're
Bobby.
muted. Here, sorry.
Now he's got it, yeah.
Commissioner Cedeno.
Here.
Commissioner Cifelli. Commissioner Lopez.
Here.
Commissioner O'Day.
Here.
Commissioner Rodriguez.
Here,
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Chairman Romano.
Here,
We have a quorum.
just let us know, CJ, who's in chambers. Abe, who else?
No commission.
We have John Asaki, he's here.
Good.
We have
Okay.
Michael Harper, he's here.
Okay, Mr. Hopper. Superintendent of
We have
schools.
Sheriff Davis, he's here.
Good.
Oh, I would have shown up in person.
Superintendent of schools, what book, please?
Superintendent of Schools is in Book 2, Section 14.
Book
He
2,
gotta speak
section
loud. He's
14.
got to speak louder. He's got to be.
Yeah, louder.
John, yeah,
Mr. Chairman, I don't have anyone from the superintendent of schools in the waiting room at this time.
Okay, we'll come back to them. Somebody make a phone call and find out.
Let him know. Yeah,
Yeah.
let him know.
All right, let's go to the surrogate. What book?
No, I think Melissa's down in Trenton at the Student Awards. But she should be, I think she's trying to get it right now. Let me find out.
All right, we'll come back to her. Surrogate.
County Surrogate is Book 1, Section 6.
Surrogate, I'm sorry, I don't have either.
Book 1, section 6. Okay, who do we have from the surrogate?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have the surrogate either. I apologize.
Walt, Jim Summers and Linda Bison for the County Surrogate's Office is here in attendance.
Oh, good. Okay, they're in person. Great.
Okay, put them, let them know. We got book 6. Go ahead, let them speak.
1 section.
Good afternoon, Linda Basin, Deputy Surrogate.
you'll have to pull the mic closer to you.
Yeah, you can hardly hear.
Hi, Linda.
Hi, can you hear me now? Linda
Yes.
Basin, Deputy Surrogate, Hudson County, with my chief clerk. The Surrogate has been doing diligent work throughout the county. Nothing's really changed from last year as in the memo. Our records are viewable online for the general public. We've completed the digitalization project. We did develop the Surrogate Court website to ensure the digital platform satisfies the ADA digital requirements. And then we're still in our stages of shredding to make room for our new move to the Guarini building. We have we presently show zero vacancies and no new positions are requested at this time.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, any commissioners?
Yeah, so you show overtime of 30,000.
We don't
How-
have the overtime at this time.
It's a request, Bill. I don't think it is.
I'm looking at the budget. It says overtime 30, that budget request 30, total budget 30,000. Is Dave Anton there?
that's if needed.
So in other words,
To date, how much has been spent from that line item?
And this year, nothing.
0. Okay. So that's a place we can cut a few dollars or reallocate a few dollars if we need it. Okay. That's the only question I had.
any other commissioners, any questions? Okay, superintendent of schools, did they find out if she's on or not?
The Surrogate dismissed?
Yes, thank you very much, Linda, and you have the chief with you, correct?
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Take care.
Chairman, I have a Melissa, but I'm not sure who it is. I don't have a last name.
That's the superintendent of schools.
Okay.
What book are we in there, please?
Superintendent of Schools is Book 2, Section 14.
Book 2, Section 14. Melissa, let us know when you're on.
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. A little louder, please.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Superintendent.
Hi, everyone. I think my budget is pretty much the same from last year. No changes at all. We haven't asked for anything new and we haven't removed anything for this year.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions and comments?
All right, good with me. Thanks, Melissa.
Just general question. Do you oversight, I know you oversight the school districts. Is the schools of technology one of the school districts that you oversight?
Yes.
So should we be talking to you about all the problems and issues we have there?
Well, the superintendents answer to their own boards and I don't have any oversight over the school boards.
So what does your oversight relate to?
It's really about policy. It's about, are they following policy? Do they have the policies in place? Systemic things, but we can certainly discuss some of the issues that they're having, but I don't have any oversight. Their board is the one that oversees all of that.
So they like eliminated a summer program that they've had. And as far as I know, didn't notify any of us. Is that something we could have a conversation about?
We could have a conversation, but I can't change a Board of Education's decision on things. The way to go about, if there's issues with that would be to controversies and disputes at the Department of Education, which I can share that information, Commissioner O'Day, if you need that.
Do you
Advise
need to
us
be the whole meeting
how
or
would we-
just for? Yeah,
There's two people
you-
talking. Hold on.
Walt,
Yes, you get let in when it's your turn to testify.
Walt, you can't mute yourself.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Melissa, continue.
That's okay. Yeah, so I can certainly send you that. If a Board of Education makes a decision that somebody is not in agreement with, there can be relief going through controversies and disputes at the Department of Education, which I can share that information with you on how that would happen.
Oh, yeah, if you could share that, that would be great.
Okay.
My only other question is, you have a line item that says seasonal staff. What is your seasonal staff?
I don't have any seasonal staff, so I'm unsure why that is in there.
Could someone from the administrative side explain that?
Commissioner, the superintendent of schools budget previously had a roster of around 5 employees. They reduced down to 3 employees in recent years. The 35,000 figure for seasonal assistance was there in the event that they needed some additional help without hiring full-time staff, so it gave them that flexibility.
So, Madam Superintendent, are you envisioning hiring seasonal staff in the next 6 months?
Not at this point in time, no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that's another line item we can use. All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
Sure.
Any other commissioners, anything?
Oh, Melissa, enjoy your awards. I know you're down in Trenton with
Yeah.
the student
Yes,
awards. Enjoy
thank
that.
you. Yeah, we have a
Yeah,
student from
sure.
Hoboken getting an award today, so
Oh,
I'm gonna go
really?
back down to that.
Melissa, when you get a chance later, let me know who that student is. Maybe
I
can-
will. Yep, I'll get that
And then
information to
Give
you.
me a report on Kopaz. Is he passing everything?
He is doing just fine, but thanks. Thanks for always asking that.
Thank
All
you.
right, everyone, have a great day. Thank you again.
Bye,
Okay.
Melissa.
Bye-bye.
All right, so the next, we're going to the sheriff's. What book is that?
Sheriff's Office is located in Book 1, Section 7, and they're approaching the microphone now.
Book 1, Section 7, other commissioners, sheriff's department. And who do we have? We have Jimmy, Sheriff Davis.
Of the sheriff himself.
Edward Neese, Chief of Finance Operations.
Okay. Hello, Edward.
How are
Okay, go ahead.
So the sheriff's office budget should reflect $1 million less than last year's expenditures. New administration with the sheriff's department. We are in the process of evaluating our overtime expenditures, evaluating all of our expenditures, re-evaluating and analyzing our overtime costs.
Yes.
Adjusting our manpower issues, and we are currently about $900,000 less in overtime than we spent last year at this time.
Wow.
So for the first 5 months of the year, your OT is 900,000 less than it was for the first 5 months of last year.
6 months. As of last pay period, we're $944,000 less.
Well, it's not 6 months. We're only in June. That's 5 months.
Oh, the 5 months, yeah. I'm
There hasn't
sorry.
been 13 pay periods yet. So for less than half a year, you're $900,000 savings from a year ago.
That is correct.
Why not?
Mr.
Have you
Chairman, I
hired
believe
additional
Commissioner Sefeli is on the line now.
Yeah, I finally got through. My Zoom was not working, so I had to go on telephone. So I'm here.
So
But what
noted.
department are we on? I'm sorry.
We're on the sheriff's
Yeah.
office, Al. We're on the sheriff's office.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
So we in the process of trying to move into the Guarini building, we have some vacancies in our security and our sheriff's office, our sworn officers that we are looking to replace as the year goes on. We have hopefully established about 30 officers in our next police academy. We have, I believe, 8 in the academy right now. Our staffing for those 2 projects is going to tax the department, but with our savings and with our moving forward and our evaluation process, we're on point to accomplish this.
I have a question with that savings. Is that going to help? I think they need, there's a new contract coming up, correct?
They are currently in contract negotiations. The contract ended this year. They have a 1-year extension on the contract where we
Yeah, we want to keep a retention rate so they don't leave after, they're trained.
100%. And if some of this overtime expenditures would be used in contract negotiations for increasing salaries, I think that would help with our retention.
Yeah, I know everybody's looking for money, but I seem to feel that a priority should be ensuring that the sheriff's office are paid so we don't keep losing them.
I totally agree.
Okay, go ahead. Continue with other commissions.
29 vacancies in the budget document that was provided to us. Of those 29 vacancies, how many have been filled or not filled to date?
Those are the 29 active vacancies right now. And as I said, with our security staff, we have vacancies, and those are going to be evaluated with our moving into the Guarini building. What spots we need, what spots we will plan to replace. We have some clerk positions that are vacancies. Our goal is to fill some office spots that are currently occupied by sworn, to put civilian spots, clerks positions there to activate our officers and have them doing patrol and security, court security function.
So based on your presentation on overtime, it would appear that if you continue at the rate you have year over year, that your savings within overtime will be close to 2 million. And if I look at what the budget is, so they budgeted you for literally more than last year was in the budget, but about $1 million over, $1 million less than what was actually paid in charge. So paid in charge was $1,177,000. You only requested $10,250,000, and you got what you requested.
Mm-hmm.
So should have $1 million savings within that that for whatever your contract negotiations are. Is that a fair projection?
That's a fair projection, and that's what we would really like to accomplish. However, as we all know in this room, within the next month, we have FIFA coming to a big part of our county. We also have the op sale 4th on our Hudson County shoreline. I expect those two events to cause quite a bit of overtime. So where I would like to say you're on point with nearly $2 million at the end of the year, I'm cautious on what we have within the next month and a half.
However, can I ask you a question with respect to those two events, FIFA, the World Cup, and the op sale? The last meeting that we had, I think we accepted money from the state and the feds maybe for different projects that had to do with police overtime with the World Cup. I don't remember seeing anything with like an op sale event, but don't we get funds from those to offset?
We're only getting $2,000, Al, for the World Cup. We're only getting $2,000 after the disbursement was done. Am I correct on that, Ed?
I think you're correct there. A lot of the federal reimbursement money is for FIFA sanctioned events, and I'm not sure most of these things that are going to be going on are FIFA sanctioned events. Some of the events at that we're participating in at MetLife and at the Sports Illustrated Stadium, our officers will be paid for. However, just in the interest of public safety, we're going to probably have full manpower and availability throughout that, whether they're sanctioned or not.
Yeah, I think, Al, to give you also, I think a chunk of money, not even that much, went to the Office of Emergency Management with Director Ferranti. It's still not even a lot of money. Port Authority somehow got $4.5 million. So,
I mean, but I'm not gonna say astounded, but I'm surprised that we don't get any help financial from the state or the feds for these additional obligations that FIFA comes in or OpSell. They don't help us with that.
FIFA will only help if it's a FIFA sponsored event. But we have a lot.
That's kind of a nonsense response from FIFA. I mean, the fact that they don't sponsor a specific event doesn't mean that we don't have to support it with security.
That's basically the stance they take.
Yeah.
Did you hear the sheriff, Al?
Unfortunately, I did.
Yeah.
I don't like the response.
When we're moving into the Guarini building?
Excuse me?
When are we moving into the Guarini building?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question.
Well, my goal is to start moving people August 1st. My initial goal was March 1st, but there was a electrical problem. It took up until 2 or 3 weeks ago to fix. So now working with Judge Katz, we're looking at possibly August 1st because I'm not going to try and do anything until FIFA is over with. And I'm figuring August 1st will be a month where things are kind of slow in the court. We could start bringing people over and we could start working the operations and hopefully figure out our bugs and our speed bumps along the way and get them fixed before we go back full in September.
So you envision being able to be fully operational in the Guarini building right after Labor Day?
I'm hoping, yes.
Not hoping, but this is my recollection is that this was the same hope that we were told last year that right after Labor Day, different departments at 595 were told to pack up their stuff and get it over across the street. And that's a year ago. So this hope, it's not ringing, like, it doesn't sound well to me. I'm sorry.
Well, I wasn't here a year ago.
We have a totally
Well,
different.
that's not my problem. I'm just saying, but it's the system's problem. It's the builder's problem. But this has been, to say the least, dragging along a year now we're talking about.
So Sheriff, looking at being sensitive to your overtime and being sensitive to the desire to take the overtime savings, though they may wind up being less than, and it's really, your savings may be 2 million, your net in the budget's probably a little more than $1 million, and that may be reduced by a couple of 100,000 based on what you represented. In looking at your vacancies and your timeline and what you just represented, you've got about $700,000 for vacancies. And looking at what you projected at your timeline and individuals that were being brought on for 6 months, which obviously they're not going to be brought on, others brought on for 4 months, which you may or may not. My suggestion will be, as we may need to allocate dollars, looking to take 150K from that line item, not touching your overtime, if we need to transfer to other projects or programs that we have a sensitive timeline to try to address. Is that something you're going to be able to live with?
100%.
Perfect. I don't have any more questions.
Yeah, Chair, I just, Sheriff, wonderful job with the overtime. Is something that we've had a concern with over the years. Fantastic that you've come in so quickly and fixed that. And two, I know that you have some vacancies throughout that might be clerical. The board is very sensitive of the Career Center closing. We're just asking that that you take a look at some of those people. They are well seasoned. They have a nice skill set that might be able to help you out. Eleanor Gibney has those resumes now. So if any of those people would be a fit, we'd ask that you start with them and take a look. Obviously, we don't hire and fire here at the board, but that's just our recommendation. And we ask that you could take a look at those individuals who recently have received layoff notices from the Career Center, and that would be greatly appreciated. Eleanor has those now.
Okay.
I would second that.
Great point, commissioners. Great
I would
point.
second that.
I have a question for Abe, just related to that. Mr. Administrator, so we have individuals that are being laid off effective June 30th. So hypothetically, if those individuals are able to secure, especially on the lower salary level, positions within, whether it's Sheriff Davis's department or another department, effective July 1, is there any way we can transfer their health benefits so there's no separation period for this health benefits? We know that some of the individuals that are there have some significant health issues, and a separation from health benefits would create a significant issue or hardship for them.
I'll defer to Eleanor. I don't know if she's on the line, but I think that's yeah, she's here. I'll have Eleanor respond to that.
Commissioner, I could be wrong, but I believe the schools have left the state health benefits, so we would not be able to control that. They'd have to wait the 60 days as required under state health benefits. They can't be a transfer.
So the schools of technology left the health benefits plan and they still have a $11 million problem?
I'm not 100% certain, but I believe that is the case.
Can you confirm that? Because I would have assumed if they were able to leave, they would have been able to negotiate like benefits with another provider at a significant cost savings. I know Mayor Solomon did that with Jersey City, and quite frankly, I'm doing that on a micro level. So I would be curious. I don't know when we're going to have a conversation with them, but I definitely need to know and understand that. But let's
Bill,
assume.
I'll take a look at that. I have a lot of experience with that, transferring people in from districts and transferring people over that have different benefits. So I'll get an answer for you tomorrow, Bill, on
Thanks,
that
Ken.
health benefits. And
All right.
I appreciate you, Eleanor. I know you got I know you're bringing a couple of those people in already. And that's exactly what the board was looking for. And I appreciate you and Craig acting so swiftly on that. But great job, Sheriff, and Ed, wonderful job.
Sheriff Davis,
Yes.
I heard also that you're boosting up their off-duty rates, so kudos to you.
That's if they agree to it.
I'm sorry?
That's if they agree to it.
Oh,
Would they not agree with? All right.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, please note that Commissioner Aponte-Lipski has joined us.
Okay, Commissioner Lipsky, do you have any questions for the sheriff?
I'm sorry. I thought people were not noticed that I was here quite a while ago.
Yeah, she's,
Yeah, we did. We heard you. We heard you.
we heard you. You've been there.
Go ahead. Any questions? Any other commissioners for the sheriff?
Nope.
Okay, let's move on to Superintendent of Elections. What book is that?
Superintendent of Elections, Book 1, Section 7, page 198.
Book 1, Section 7.
Book 1, Section 7. That's the sheriff.
Book 1, Section 7, page 198.
198.
Oh.
Who do you have? Who do you have from the superintendent of election?
Who's there from the Superintendent of Elections?
Marion, can you unmute?
Okay, Marianne, make your presentation.
Hello? You're muted. You're muted, Ant. Hello?
Yeah, can anybody hear me?
I can hear you, Al, but I didn't hear anybody from the.
I can hear you guys, but I don't hear nobody else.
Marianne, try dragging yourself to a different box on the screen. It happened to me. I couldn't get back unmuted.
Anyway, I'm gonna try to put it
I'll
back.
be
in the
wait-
computer.
Why don't we
Where's
just go back to it? I
Yeah.
didn't really have any questions anyway. It's a small.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Since the superintendent is having difficulties, Michael Harper from the Board of Elections is here. Why don't we just go with him for now?
Right, but then we're
Fine.
gonna go back because some people have questions for the
And where
super.
is he? What page is he?
Board of Elections is in Book 1, Section 7. They start on page 187.
Okay, just straighten the problem out on the superintendent's end, Walt, please.
Hold on, let me get to page 187.
I'm here, folks.
Okay, let's do
Oh,
it.
we're good. All right, go ahead.
Oh, my God.
Sorry about that. I was listening in on YouTube Live as well.
So who are we with
The floor
now?
is yours.
It is what it is. Let's go.
Who are we talking
Okay.
with now? What department?
We're talking to Marianne Kelleher, Superintendent of Elections.
All right.
Good afternoon, commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so are you ready for me?
Yes.
Okay, so I hope you've had a chance to read over our thorough budget memorandum, and I hope you got a chance also to look at our updated budget cover, which was intended to give all the commissioners a more robust view of our operations, our strides, and our challenges. Elections are essential. They are no longer seasonal operations. That's one of the things I definitely want to get through today on behalf of our team. And we are carrying out extraordinary increased mandates with a deficiency of manpower. As you all know, there are 3 election offices that administer elections for the County of Hudson. And one of the things that I definitely aim to do on behalf of this team is help to delineate what is unique about the superintendent's office and just give you a more robust view into our operation. So some of the things that I pointed out in the memo and try to synopsize here is I want the commissioners to take a look at what has occurred since 2021. So in 2021, early voting was introduced by executive order. That's a mandate. So this team was required to carry it out. That is when one-day elections turned into week-long operations, 14-hour days. Note that our machines are programmed differently for early voting and election day. And our numbers of staff members has not increased since pre-early voting. In 2022, and this is all before I joined us, today's my 2-year anniversary. I started 2 years ago today. We've got a lot accomplished. So in 2022, this team and the County of Hudson acquired electronic voting machines and electronic poll books. So we have over 850 voting machines, over 1,100 electronic poll books. This acquisition required a complete shift in operations from mechanical to digital. Firmware and software updates between elections are crucial and timely, and these new requirements make administering elections a year-round operation. If you took a look at my memo, I used a very pedestrian example. Most of you probably have smartphones, and they tell you that you need to perform an update. Well, when we need to perform an update on our e-poll books, we have to take 1,100 poll books, which are really iPads, off a shelf, unbox them. It's a physical job, connect to Wi-Fi, do the software update, restore them, and then do it again in between every single election. So this team, sorry, did someone, was someone trying to say something there? Okay, sorry. So the same team hired before all of these new and considerable demands were required to train on new processes and technologies, not to mention keep up with new legislation, changes to the statewide voter registration system. Some of our team members adapt very easily to new technology, and others require more support. And all of this requires new trainings, more work, more mandates that were not completed prior to the acquisition of this material and early voting. So not only has the number of seats stayed stagnant, I think you all know merit raises have not been possible for our team who's been doing more for the last 2 years. Last December, I'm appointed to a position to be honest and tell you what's needed. Last December, after a string of elections, even special elections, the sign of strain on my team was obvious. I had a number of folks sick and morale is low, and we are doing way more with less, so that's understandable. So I pointed out our 5 vacancies, which I'm happy to answer. But that, not to mention sick leave and PTO time that folks are entitled to, you know, and the seats I haven't been able to fill. It's been a strain. So some changes we've made. When I first arrived here, only 10% of the staff had dedicated phone lines. Only 10% of this staff had emails. So with the help of BA Antune, the county executive's office. I think my job here was to help this dedicated team just move further into today's technology to meet today's demands. So today we have 100%, everyone has a phone line. 100% of our team, including field investigators, all have email so that we can efficiently communicate new legislation changes or anything to meet today's demands. We have done an entire audit of our elections records because in the midst of all of this, the New Jersey State Division of Election changed their archiving schedule. So we've upgraded that space. We've shredded a lot of old stuff that needed to move out of here. We did an upgrade to space thanks to Denise D'Alessandro and her team. We brought in a company to install counter spaces for our investigators, and now our provisionals are all being counted, not in a press room, not in anywhere but a secured location here. We have identified a supervisor of accounts who is sitting here with me, Connie Fuller. When I got here, the early voting grant reimbursements from the state were past due for 2 years. So I spoke to John Inagaki. We have dedicated a budget tracker, and we are on time and getting our reimbursements from the state for this early voting in much quicker order. We started asset inventory management. Kevin Lacey, our new deputy, advised me that upon the acquisition of all this digital equipment, we needed to barcode it. So I'm happy to tell you that we started that process in 2024 when I arrived, and this year we have completed barcoding every single voting machine and all of our poll books, and this will all roll out. So when all of our important elections equipment leaves the warehouse, it will be scanned on the way out, scanned upon return. We get faster response. We know where our equipment is. We know where it is right now with people power, but this improves efficiency and meets the demands of today. We've also started to train on election response. I mean, that has been a little bit of a slower role, to be honest, because, not everybody is that proficient with technology. So we're doing a lot of cross training, but that is something where we will be able to say we have an investigator out at a polling place and they want to ping us through a tablet and let us know something's going wrong. We can immediately deploy a voting machine technician. Again, this is to be current with the technologies of today. We've initiated post-election reports to the board. Our investigators are equipped and our election deputies are equipped with clipboards when they do polling place oversight. We do not hire poll workers. That is the job of the Board of Elections, but we do support them. And when we go into the field and encounter a poll worker problem, maybe a deficiency, or even if we have a great poll worker situation, we are documenting that and providing post-election reports to the board to help them identify places where we maybe need support. Since when I started, we made a goal of publishing a poll worker manual. One had not been published in years. We published it. I brought props. Here's our poll worker manual. That is to support everyone working elections. That was prior to the presidential. The next year, thanks to the handy dandy, very smart folks in our office, two of our newer employees who are good with technology went down and met with a gentleman who's been in our warehouse for 40 years, working in the warehouse, and we published an early voting poll worker manual. It's gotten a lot of positive response from voters and poll workers alike. And these are the deficiencies I saw. This is how we help people, give people active manuals to work today. So that's gotten great response. We are writing standard operating procedures because most of what has been done here historically is we tell people how to do things, but sometimes folks don't retain things by hearing it. So we are writing standard operating procedures, and we've identified a few really great writers in the office. Aretha Richardson, who's an assistant to me, has been helping us keep on track with deadlines like that. We identified a decedent team. I think you'll all appreciate this. We all know the joke, right? Oh, I think it was Brendan Byrne who said, when I die, I want to be buried in Hudson County so that I can stay active in voting. All of us, we know it's funny, but it's really not that funny. And we want to get away from that idea. So one of the first things I did was we identified a decedent team, just so everyone is aware. Every single town in Hudson County is required to send us the list of people who died the month prior, right? So some of our towns, honestly, were in arrears and we're a little, backlogged. So we sent them all a reminder. They are all coming in digitally, no longer by snail mail. I have a team that reminds town clerks or health officers that they're due, and we delete them within a week's time. So our decedent team will also be meeting with the Hudson County. I've reached out to the Hudson County Funeral Directors Association with the intention of adding these folks to our email list if they would like to provide to families this service of filling out a decedent voter removal form so that we can take pride in our voter rolls in Hudson County. That's a real value of mine because when you're the superintendent, you don't want to hear the joke about dead people voting. We brought in the state to train on the statewide voter registration system. We are providing the county's communications team with all of our early voting locations in English and Spanish for listing on the website and social media. And we're bolstering our field investigations. Investigations. For those of you who may not know, I am charged with police powers, and we have investigators who go out to enforce Title 19 violations. But 90% of our investigations are prompted by returned election mail. So, in a perfect world, a ballot goes out and it should come back to us if they can't reach the voter. But sometimes it doesn't. And we can't just blindly delete people from the voter rolls. So our field investigators actually physically go to addresses and try to find voters. So sometimes we have open investigations.
Okay.
And literally today, this is something I'm showing you. They were delivered today, kind of like when UPS comes to deliver something to your door and they can't reach you. They leave a sticky, like a call note. We have had these published for all investigators, and we will be rolling that out this summer.
Well, thank you, Mayor. That's a lot to digest. The county exec would like to chime in. Go ahead, Craig.
Absolutely.
Craig?
Hello?
Yeah, you wanted to say something, Craig?
I'm just a casual observer, Chairman.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so any questions for Mary Ann from any of the commissioners?
Yeah, where are you at in filling your vacancies?
Well, we're at our meeting, our budget hearing. I understand. Listen, we are definitely. We heard from everyone how lean the budget year is, but I will be deficient in my duties, and I've explained this to the county exec, and certainly appreciate the opportunity to give commissioners. I know a lot of people come to you for funding. I would be deficient in my position if I didn't implore you to just understand what goes into administering when we add early voting locations, when we add all this digital equipment. These vacancies are absolutely necessary as far as I'm concerned. Quite honestly, if I could, I'd even add 2 more seats to the at least 2 more seats to that. So we have put it in the budget.
So what's your overtime? So you have 230,000 budget for overtime. You just had an election that ended yesterday. How much in overtime has been expended to date?
I do not have that number right in front of me. Kevin, are you on the line? And would you have that number available for this year?
Yes, for the first, I guess, 5 months and 2 days, or at least the first 5 months of the year.
Yes, Commissioner, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, this is Kevin Lacey, Deputy Superintendent. I think at this moment right now, with this pay period that's just going through, we might be like $60,000 to $70,000 so far. in OT, and I might be lowballing it, because we're in the midst of the overtime period right now and relating to the primary.
How much was spent on overtime last year?
I believe it was like $213,000.
So can you let us know by Tuesday to date what your OT was versus vis-a-vis last year?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, Commissioner.
I have it in the budget memorandum, so, sorry,
Excuse me, Mary.
2020.
Mary Ann, can you excuse me?
Yes,
Commissioner John Inagaki will answer the question.
There we
thank
go.
you.
Yeah, just to give some historical reference on overtime in the Superintendent of Elections office. Back in 2024, they expended $262,000 in overtime. Now, note that was a presidential year, so it was
Right.
higher than normal. 2025, the end of the year at $204,987. Right now, Kevin has a more updated number because I'm looking as of the middle of May. So I have 49,817, but I believe his number of 67,000 sounds to be accurate. Keep in mind though that his overtime comes in two tranches, obviously during the primary and the general election. So for most of the year, you'll see that overtime bi-weekly
A
be
little or nothing, right? And then it goes wild. Understood.
exactly. Yes.
But just looking at everything you said is makes good sense. So you had a presidential election, which would be the most, right? Then you had a gubernatorial election, right? And other significant mayoral elections. And then but they were all in the same time, right? And then
We also had the specials with Congressman Payne. We have 2 special elections, all including early voting. We do the school boards as well, so.
Well, you're making my argument because this year is an off-year election, and you don't have the special elections for Congress.
Well, if someone passed in office, we have to be prepared, you know.
I don't want to look forward.
I don't want that to happen, but.
I'm not gonna jinx it. So I'm gonna suggest that we can move 25,000 from the overtime with the capability to be able to transfer it to something else.
Yeah, and Commissioner O'Day, just to follow up, the majority of the overtime that relates to early voting is all reimbursable from the state.
Okay. So see, that's good. That's good to know. Okay.
Can I ask a question? With regards to your vacancies, again, back to the CRC, can we look at some of the resumes there also to see if any of those potential employees would be able to fill any of your slots? And my second question is, I see that you have vacancies. Are you having a hard time filling the space? Like you have a couple of part-timers, et cetera. Are you having a hard time filling them?
I think we really were just waiting to get an okay, on budget. And one last thing, are you speaking of the Schools of Technology program where folks are, okay. So, no, I mean, the only thing is we do have some needs. We need people when it's election time, we need people who are going to be willing to work 12 days in a row. We call them blackout periods, right? We need folks who drive, and we have some specific needs. Technology in particular to bolster our really dedicated staff who maybe some just can't keep up with the technology, but have extraordinary institutional knowledge.
Well, what I think is that, again, I'm going to leave that to Eleanor, the Education Committee, the County Executive, with regards to we don't want to put somebody in a job that they're not able to handle. We want to put somebody in the right position. So that would be left to trying to put the round peg in the round hole. I'm not looking to, there's certain specialties that people cannot, I guess, go into, but I don't know what the resumes of the people that are at the CRC are. So that would be left to you, Eleanor, and the committee, I guess.
So just so you guys realize, There's one position, which I'm curious to know what it is, that pays $103,000, but all the other positions, there's 2 part-times, and the other 2 full-time positions have a $44,000 a year salary and a $40,000 a year salary. I mean, those employees that were at that school for 15 to 20 years, I would assume that their salary is significantly more than 40 and 44,000.
So the 103, I very much explained the vacancies and how they got vacated. So that was Kevin Lacey was in that role previously, the 103. And then he was recently appointed deputy at the end of 2025. So one of our, I'm sorry.
What do you want to promote from within?
Hold on. There's 3 people talking at once.
Al, mute. Mute
Al,
yourself.
you're on mute. Hold on, man.
Yeah, the Ken Loach, I'm not sure who he is. We'll square up with him.
Al.
Al,
Al, we're hearing your business, Al.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Billy.
Both has to matter.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Billy.
Oh, so what I'm saying is, wouldn't you first want to promote from within someone to that position?
Well, so we have one person who has taken on a lot of his responsibilities already, and some of the other we are definitely in a time of transition. One of the things that I've just tried, a lot of people were doing a lot of things, and what I've tried to do is create more straight lines, like having a decedent team, having individuals. So we do have someone from within who has assumed some of those responsibilities already.
Commissioner O'Day, again, I'm not sure what the salaries are there, but if there are any matches, I still would like them to consider it.
I'm just being pragmatic, right? I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure if I can hire anyone at $40,000 a year these days. So, I mean, that's
our current
less,
employees. That's why I also did just want to make the case for our current employees that we haven't been able to reward them, and they're doing the work of these vacancies. So,
anyone who we hire at $40,000 a year, we should give them a referral to Family Services because they're eligible for food stamps. To put things in perspective. Especially if they have a child. I don't have any other questions.
Okay, nobody else? Next, let's get up Board of Elections, and that's Michael Harper.
Thank you.
Board of Elections is in Book 1, Section 7, starting on page 187.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Michael Harper of the Hudson County Board of Elections. So happy to join you the day after a successfully administrated primary election, as well as a beneficial judicial ruling to us, which the board certainly agrees, canceling an unnecessary runoff in the city of Bayonne, which would have taken place next week. We are happy that the judge agreed that that is.
How much does that save?
Well, that would be a saving to the city of Bayonne. Those were all direct costs, but I would say probably, depending on how much they had, or because the decision was so late, probably $50,000 to $70,000 potentially. Ladies and gentlemen, you know my budget is relatively tight. So much of it is absolutely locked in. And things like poll worker pay and polling place leasing. We certainly are overtime for the past several years, and to preempt today, get to your question up. We have budgeted for $200,000 for overtime. Looking at my past couple of years, as you can see in there, I'd say we certainly have $15,000 to $20,000 to donate back when necessary, when and if necessary. I'm certainly open to questions.
No, that's all right. You gave 20,000 back. That's a good way to save questions.
I thought so. Thank you.
Anybody else questions for Mr. Harper? Okay, let's move on to corrections, book and page.
Corrections is located in 1, section 8.
No, eso nunca me da sueño, pero.
Okay, who's on from who's on for corrections? Becky's on. Becky, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we see you in the war room.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm presenting the 2026 budget for the Hudson County Department of Correction and Rehabilitation. This is a lean, clean budget. It is focused on safe operations, required care, responsible staffing, and accountability to the taxpayers. We are not requesting any new positions. There are no merit increases in this budget. Our approach is to manage the operation we have, make better use of our current resources, and continue to control the areas that place the greatest pressure on the budget. Those areas include overtime, medical care, pharmaceuticals, safety equipment, facility needs, and basic operational needs. I also want to report clear progress on vacancies. Last year, we had more than 130 total vacancies. This year, we are at 96. That is meaningful improvement. Our custody vacancies have improved from 80 last year to 66 this year. Civilian vacancies have improved from 64 last year to 30 this year. Although we are not where we aim to be, we are moving in the right direction. This progress matters because staffing affects safety, overtime, supervision, and daily operations. The increases you see in certain line items are tied to necessary services and equipment. They are not extra spending. They support the basic needs of a safe correctional facility, including medical care, medication, communications, cleaning, vehicles, radios, security equipment, and hygiene supplies. We recognize that every dollar matters. My responsibility is to operate this facility safely, meet required care standards, control overtime, reduce vacancies, and make sure each increase is tied to a clear operational need. That is the approach that is reflected in this budget, and we are prepared to answer your questions.
So,
Go ahead.
You provided a memo that shows, I guess, in a positive way, an amazing reduction in overtime. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Yes, Commissioner, thank you. Yes, one of the initiatives that we have that made a tremendous impact is with our on-duty injury staff, the OJI claims. At the start of that project, we had at one point over 46 staff members out on OJI. Based on this program, we were able to return those individuals to work in a modified duty capacity. And our number now, as this report, is down to 6. It was as low as 4. That allowed us to bring these individuals in regard to their medical conditions, but they were serving in positions that would have been otherwise filled in overtime. So that has helped tremendously. And I would like to thank Central Personnel, Risk Management, and the Law Department for really helping us put that together and making it a success.
So do you know through, I guess, May, how much overtime you've expended? If not, I would assume that someone in the chambers would have that readily available.
As of today's date, we've spent $4,494,177,000.
And how much did you spend year to date a year ago?
I don't have that. Let me see. Hold on.
Commissioners, if I may,
Yes.
on the overtime. So I have a slightly updated number on the overtime spent for corrections. As of now, as of the 5/29, they have spent $5,033,430. Last year, in 2025, the total OT expended was $12,854,248. And in 2024, $11,906,623. Their
You
budget,
said it's 5 million. How much to date?
5 million so far through 11 payrolls.
5 million, okay.
Yeah, 5,033,430. In their budget, they have an amount of 11,750,000, and right now they're on track to meet that amount. As the director mentioned, though, it is a reduction from what they actually expended last year of 12,854,000. So they are going down, but it does seem at this moment that they will meet the amount that's in the introduced budget of 11,750,000.
In the area of vacancies, to what degree and what time? So you've got, Director, you've got budgeted 1,000,004 for vacancies. And of 96, you said there's 60? How many that are still vacant?
We have 66 custody vacancies and 30 non-custody vacancies.
So 66 COs and then 30 non-COs.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have timelines on those? So I'm looking to see how dollars can be potentially reallocated from that line item. Even maybe a couple $100,000.
Commissioner, may I interject?
Sure.
And this particular budget for corrections, they're unique in the way they're treated compared to all the other departments, mostly because of the high employee count and the number of employee turnover that's in the department that generates breakage, basically. So this is one of the few departments where on the employee summary sheet that you see in the book, we employ a figure called turnover adjustment. And I remember Commissioner Cifelli asked this a couple of years ago because he asked a similar question about the vacancies. In this case, the number that we put in the budget, 59,591,000, that's a number that we anticipate they're actually going to come in at the end of the year based on the 4.5 months worth of activity that they've incurred so far. Since Hudson historically passes their budget in June, it does gives us some time to get a more accurate projection as to what the account will come in at the end of the year. So this is a unique situation where if you were to reduce vacancies or reduce it, it might cause a situation where they might require a budget transfer during the last 2 months of the year.
And then if that happens, you have to do it, right?
Correct.
Don't you do budget transfers all the time?
Yes, we do, Commissioner.
Okay. So I see like an attorney here, although it's only funded for 1 month. Well, I don't even know why you guys need an attorney. We have a law department.
So the attorney that's assigned here is dedicated to correctional issues. So our issues are unique, and a transient attorney not well immersed in the details of the operations here. Not that it cannot be done, but that liaison works in various capacities. In addition to responding to inquiries, we deal with a lot of different jurisdictions. There are a lot of different legal issues that the person that we've had, she left and went to another job. But that vacancy is very important to our institution. And right now, the staffing that the law department is able to provide is not a full-time person. So that need is essential to the operations. I mean, we are experts in corrections, but we are not by any means capable as an attorney would be to interact with other legal issues as they arise.
I don't want to get into detail of it, but I remember the circumstances upon which that attorney went over there to begin with. I'd be curious to see a report on the activity that attorney actually did during that person's tenure there. And I would note for the record that you don't have one now, and that your budget funds one for 1 month. So in the best scenario, you could hire one in December, and you're somehow managing to get through without having that attorney there at this time. And when did the attorney leave?
a year and 3 months ago.
Oh, so 15 months you haven't had the person. You've survived. All right. I won't press that anymore.
No, Bill's comment is well taken. I don't understand. If you had an attorney for a year and a quarter, and now you need one now, what is it, 110,000? Is that the number?
Yeah, I mean it's only 10,000 because they've only funded it for a month.
If it's for 1 month. Yeah, but
And Commissioner, if I could speak on the vacancies that we have in the positions, just to put things in perspective, this year alone, we've hired 41 officers. We have another 18 that are in the academy in Essex. They'll be graduating in September. And then we have 23 going into Hudson in July, and they'll be graduating the end of November, December, which will bring us for this year, our target, if you remember at a couple of the commission meetings, we talked about of 80 officers, we're going to have hired 83. With that, we haven't had them leaving as quickly, I think, because FIFA's over with and some of the other items where departments were pulling from our men and women here. So that's going to leave us in a pretty good shape for next year. And we're going to try to hit another 80. And with all those retiring and just regular attrition, we should be in really good shape for next year. I think that's going to help with the budget altogether. The one thing we do
Well, the 80 you're bringing on this year, does that give you a higher personnel count in that job title than you had a year ago?
He's talking about the attorney.
Are you talking about the attorneys?
Oh,
sir?
no, I'm talking about COs.
No, the COs, yeah, we're higher than we were last year.
How much higher are you than you were last year?
We're at, what are we at right now? Right now, we're at 338.
Ed, why can't that gentleman just answer? He writes the answers down and then you give them.
That's my budget guy. I'm not the
I'm
best.
just saying, like I said, I'm like watching it. I'm watching like a lawyer sitting next to a client and writing
I
down.
actually have it written down, just wrote over it, making sure. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. But
you're
I
very
want to
smart.
also get to the 30 civilian openings. And as you alluded to earlier, there's two things I heard, and I'm glad I was part of these meetings. One is the Career Center. Those individuals, I will call Eleanor after this meeting and try to get some people to fill some of our vacancies here. But out of the 30 positions that are vacant, 21 of them pay around $40,000. So as you alluded to before, it's very difficult to get people to come into this environment under those conditions. So, but I will reach out and we will try to, and we're actively recruiting. But I think that 40,000, as you alluded to earlier, is a problem in the hiring process.
All right, so I guess I'll circle back before next week to see what's a reasonable number to try to if needed to shift. I mean, I just feel, especially as it relates to some of the issues with the immigrant safety stuff that we've been talking about.
Yeah,
we can shift some dollars from here. I think it's good faith in light of how much revenue the county made from, the detainees during the 2017 through 2020, I guess, period, the 4-year period. But I'm not looking to go crazy. I'd also like to look at pay period over pay period, what the overtime has been. So if the overtime has significantly been lower for like the last 4 or 5 pay periods because you've implemented that program maybe 2 months ago, then the projection on the OT might even be better than the finance folks have been portraying here today.
I just want to chime in. Thank you, Ed. That was a good, and Becky, good presentation. As we talk about this chopping down or extra budget money, when Frank Mazza makes his presentation, we're going to find out that he has no money. So I think our priorities have to, if anything, if we're going to shift, it's got to be to Frank Mazza and those that we're servicing now as a priority, and our veterans. And
I'm looking to find $1 million just for additional temporary rental assistance money to be shifted to Frank Mazza. And while that may be part of, a request from advocates, at the end of the day, those dollars will ultimately go to whoever needs them.
Right. Good. Okay, any other questions for corrections here? Keep up the good work over there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
I appreciate the budget officer being able to quickly provide that.
All right, our next is the Office of Cultural and Heritage Affairs. What's the book and who's the person?
Do you want the law department first?
I'm sorry?
You want the law department
Oh,
first?
Law Department, I'm sorry. Yeah, let's get Alberico out so we can go play soccer. Go ahead. Where is he?
Are we doing law department or
Yeah,
office?
Law Department, I'm sorry. I seen the Law Department next. What book?
Is book 1, section 2, starting on page 15.
Alberico.
Yes, good afternoon, Chairman, and good afternoon, Commissioners. I don't want to belabor the time. I'm sure you've all read our memo. All I want to say before taking any questions is that I've wholeheartedly enjoyed working with my incredible staff this first year as the director. It's an exceptional staff, and it's grown with numbers and people, and they're just working with even more departments and the subunits in the law department and getting to know everyone. It's truly an exceptional group of employees. So I'm very happy that I get to work with them. So I don't want to add anything that is already in the memo to save time for others as well. So if there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Okay, Commissioners, go ahead.
It's just the vacant positions. You got 3, 6. You got 137,000 for them. Most of them are attorneys. One is a deputy county counsel. I guess I was going to ask on where or how are you related to that?
The attorney positions are absolutely necessary right now. We are looking to fill them by the end of the year. There's already from past law clerks that we're looking to bring on, which is a great show of retention that law clerks that have gained experience here, we can actually try to keep the good talent. The local talent is important. As I noted also in my memo, the other 2 positions that are non-legal positions, those are going to be civil service eligible internal promotions. So they're actually all absolutely necessary. And especially because the law department in its budget, if you noticed, saved lots of money on outside services, legal services, trying to mirror what many other counties and local municipalities do in having a healthy law department with more attorneys is actually a great way of saving money in the future. And allows us to handle many more cases internally with the staff that we're starting to put together. And obviously, they are necessary, and we are still in that transition phase. It's only been just over a year, and we have been reorganizing and assisting even more of the other departments with our attorneys in the way that we've started restructuring our operations. So unfortunately, those are, besides the 2 that are, again, our promotions, when they're eligible within the next 6 to 8 months, those other roles, the attorney roles are definitely necessary.
So on your professional and consulting fee line item, which I assume is the majority is your outside attorneys, is that a fair assumption?
I would say at least 50%. Yes, there's other professional services that we use that are under the law department as well.
So that number has gone down from 1,750,000 charged in 24 to 1,593,000 charged in 25 to 1,385,000, which is what you requested, not changed by the executive, what do you attribute that level of reduction to?
Well, what we did here, myself, Deputy County Counsel Rihanna Garcia, and several of others, admin staff here, we thoroughly reviewed what we've spent in years past, for professional services with our outside counsels. And we found that in analyzing the metrics, we did not really have to spend as much money. Plus, the other side of that is also that we wanted to try to retain a percentage of cases, of more cases internally, because the more that we can do here and handle the litigation defense of county matters, that percentage actually is very beneficial in helping out the county-wide budget. So those are funds that we looked at in how we can save money for the county. And it's so far 6 months in, it's working very well with our outside counsels and our internal attorney staff.
So in your attorney line item, right, for your active titles, you have 434,000 for 4, which comes out to like 108. And then for your new ones, they come out at 110. Is there a reason why the
Yes.
new ones are going to get paid more than the ones you already have?
I don't think that's accurate, Commissioner. I believe that maybe you're seeing the numbers of part-time attorneys on
No,
our
I'm not.
staff at the moment.
That's separate.
The-
Attorney 4, salary 434,526. Attorney part-time 4, 258,758. I refer you to the first page of your active title.
Well, the answer for the 110 is that for several years now, at least for the last 2.5 to 3 years, new full-time attorneys are brought in at that salary, and that's why you're seeing the 110,000, which is in fact in practice and parallel to the last couple of full-time attorneys in this department that have been hired. I'm looking at what you were saying before.
Marico.
Yes.
Hold on a second. John.
Sure.
Yes, Commissioner, the reason there's a decrease, you're right, is one of the attorneys should have been listed as an attorney part-time. That's what's bringing down the total.
Well, then you should correct it, because it doesn't list him as an attorney part-time. It lists 4 attorney full-time, 4 attorney part-time. So you're telling me you have 5 attorney part-time and only 3 attorney full-time.
So there's 3 attorneys full-time, and I have to check with Alberico because that 4th attorney that's under the 100,000 figure, he may actually be considered full-time based on the number of hours, but his salary would be lower than the 110 that Alberico mentioned earlier.
Can you just get us a memo that addresses that or corrects that?
Sure.
We understand what it is. And then you're asking for another hospital credit investigator. What do they do?
No,
You have one now?
Commissioner, as I was saying before, it's not another one. That is a position that pursuant to civil service, someone is 6 months away from getting into that role. So it's going to be an eligible position, just waiting for the statutory requirement by civil service for that title.
Well, what
So
do they do? Yeah, my question was, what do they
Oh,
do?
okay, yeah, sure. So basically, the hospital credit investigator for the adjuster's office confirms that patients are not, that the county, Hudson County, is not paying for psychiatric patients that are actually the responsibility of another another municipality. Or say, for instance, if there's a patient that comes into Meadowview and the investigator investigates and during the course of the investigation finds that actually that patient is under the jurisdiction of Essex County, They make that finding and we transfer the responsibility of paying those expenses, medical expenses, back to the correct county. So it's a very important role that ensures that we are not overpaying for patients that are not ours. And again, an employee is currently doing so, but is just waiting for in a couple of months, she will be eligible for the time requirement.
And I mean, look, overall, you compared to the final budget, you're not quite 200, no, about 150,000 less. And compared to the final charged budget, you're flat to whatever last year was. You're $12,000 over what was actually paid and charged last year. So, I mean, your numbers, you have good numbers.
Trying our best.
Can I ask you a question about the investigators? The hospital credit investigator that you just explained comes in at 64,700. There's page before that. There are two other investigators. One at 139,900. They're at 41,600. That sounds like 3 investigators. Is that right? I mean, 3 individuals?
Commissioner,
yeah.
No, sorry. Those other investigators are actually investigators in the Office of Consumer Protection. So those are completely different investigators.
But my point is though, they're all different individuals. In other words, one investigator isn't covering 2 tasks, right?
Correct.
So that investigator's salary, for example, the hospital investigator gets 64,776, but that is a different person that also is an investigator under. I'm looking at the previous page. Sorry, maybe I have it wrong. Where there are other investigator line items. They're separate individuals, right? I mean, they're not the same person.
Correct.
Getting, all right. I just want to make sure that somebody's not getting $64,000, but it's the same person who's aggregating his salary or her salary to another investigator's slot.
No, absolutely not, Commissioner.
Okay,
Those are
they're separate individuals. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
All right.
Okay. Any other questions for Alberico?
Are we going over everything that's under him, including like public safety training center, all that stuff?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the public safety training center allocates vehicle allowance to, and it comes out to $14,400, which is $7,200 per, which comes out to $600 a month. So I don't know whether this is an Alberico or an Abe question. Our vehicle allowance is $600 a month.
Yes.
Jesus, you need to look about how you reduce those. If they're not required by some collective bargaining agreement, I don't understand it. It's a lot of money. You can lease and gas a vehicle, for $600 a month all day long. Yeah, I'd like to just ask separately that we get a list prior to next Tuesday of every. I don't need the person's name, but the job title who receives a vehicle allowance and how many. Do you know how many there are off the top of your head, Abe?
Maybe 19, 20, something like that.
Well, I'd like to. Yeah, I'd like.
Commissioner, that $600 vehicle allowance, that's been in place for 20 years.
That doesn't make it right?
I'm just giving you the history.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that. We found out other locations, things that have been going on for years, and recognized that they were wrong to go on. So I think it's just something,
It
it sounds like a perk.
The $600 has been in place now for a long time. And we provided that information in the past, so we will give you the list again.
Just give me the list, because I mean, that's crazy. It's a lot of money, man. And the justification as to why each of those 20 individuals gets a vehicle allowance.
It's part of their compensation package.
Based on what? Based on a contract? Or just based on, you know, what job title they hold?
That the individuals that receive it are non-union. They're not aligned employees.
So you just arbitrarily determine who gets them. Not by a certain title, right? It's not because you hold a certain job title that you automatically get one. It's whatever. Somebody doesn't either doesn't have or doesn't want a county vehicle. So instead we give them $600 a month.
It depends on their job duties and their responsibility.
All right, I'll wait. I'll reserve judgment till you get me the list again.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions from the commissioners?
Yeah, just on the Public Safety Training Center, they have seasonal staff for 15,000. What is that for?
I can provide that in a memo. I don't have that information right off the top of my head unless John has that information, but I can definitely get it for you.
Okay. Do you know, John?
You know?
Commissioner, in the past, that's just been there. There was an employee out on leave. They hired a temporary clerk, and normally during the summer, they may bring someone in to assist.
All right. Can we see how much was spent on that last year?
Commissioner, we can check on that.
All right.
Any more questions on that? Go ahead, Bill.
No, I don't have any more questions.
Anybody? Okay, up next is Office of Culture and Heritage Affairs.
Chairman, I do not have the director.
Anybody there?
Hi, good afternoon, Commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yes. What book are we in, John?
Office of Culture and Heritage is Book 1, Section 2, starting on page 46.
46. 246, everybody. 246. Okay, go ahead, G.
Great. Good afternoon, everybody. The office has been able to meet all targeted goals for the year so far and working on projected goals for its 9 branches, which are promotion of the arts, tourism development, promotion of local history, cultural events and heritage, film and television, arts and education, music programming, sports and education, accessibility resources for arts and cultural organizations. This year, here are some of the highlights. This year, we have 56 events slated, which is an increase of 24 events from last year. A couple that I wanted to highlight was our Hudson County Spelling Bee, which grows every year with a record of 77 schools and students. This year is very important. We had Ishan Gupta. I'm sure some of you heard he was the runner-up in the Scripps National Spelling Bee competition from Frank R. Conwell Middle School in Jersey City. So that was an incredible amazing story. Also, we've had Black History Month celebration, and that has grown tremendously. We had a record of 300 people attend that event this year, and Women's History Month with about 100 folks in attendance this year as well. With regards to our programming, we have established a successful 2025-26 sports and education program in Combine, reaching over 500 students, 30 schools and 6 municipalities. We established the largest to date arts and education program, reaching 43 schools, 48 programs, 21 organizations, 8 municipalities. We established the 2026 largest to date local arts programming, 77 programs, which just to note is the same funding as we have received for the past 3 years. We also have had more of a focus on county mural projects, for working with local historic businesses, working with Jersey City students, more of a community-oriented focus there. Tourism development, we've launched a lot of strategic marketing campaigns that have helped Hudson County increase its visitation and visitor spending to about 8.54 million visitors last year, and a 7% of total visitation to the state, reaching about $3 billion in visitation funds. So it's such an incredibly unique year this year with the 250th and FIFA. We have established, done a lot of work over the past year and a half with the FIFA committee, working with all departments across the county. Some to note are the parks departments, OEM, sheriff's, law department, planning and transportation, roads and public property, and lockstep with county executive. As you can imagine, it's been very challenging, and everything has been constantly changing, especially in the past 90 days. However, we have been able to work with municipalities, the county, creating itineraries for visitors and residents, working on transportation, security, street closures, events and coordination, and partnering with several county entities. As of now, we are part of the Flag Cities initiatives, which is the 7 large-scale FIFA events, hosting one on June 21st at the Secaucus Laurel Hill Park, and one on June 28th, hosting it at the Stephen R. Gregg Bayonne Park.
How'd you select your sites? What was that process?
I'm sorry?
What was the process that you went through to select those 2 sites?
Sure. So after several iterations, we were looking to work with 4 county parks. However, budgeting and funding was challenging. We did not receive any funding from the state, from EDA, from the host committee, or from FIFA. So what was worked out was a partnership with Flag Cities, LLC, and Axiom Communications. And the 2 main focuses were the parks of Secaucus and Bayonne that they wanted to work with us on. And that's how the partnership developed.
Can you get me the contact? So I'd like to speak to whoever that contact is from that entity to determine how they came up with that decision.
Absolutely. There's going to be
Bill, I asked the same question because I was worrying about Lincoln Park, obviously, but I think they were supposed to have the big celebration in Liberty State Park would have took care of Jersey City.
Yeah, but
then they canceled that. So I think that's what happened. From my conversations with that, because my first response was, well, what about Lincoln Park in Jersey City? Right. And they said Liberty State Park was supposed to handle that. And then when Liberty State Park celebration got canceled, those 2 were left.
Correct.
Yeah,
Commissioner. Yeah, we were, again, in the past 90 days, there's been so many changes, and Jersey City did come under the Flag Cities initiative as well, so their event is going to be on June 12th. But I will definitely get you the contact.
Well, gee, weren't they supposed to do Liberty State Park for like a month or something? Wasn't that the conversation when we first started?
Yes, they were supposed to do it for 4 days. Major
Yeah.
concerns, I'm sure you've heard, with everything, transportation, security, et cetera. And then what happened was a shift, right? So again, we were not being funded. We were having to do our budgeting ourselves. And what happened was, once the governor decided to make that change and put the focus on community activation and these larger scale events throughout the state, the EDA then put together the $5 million grant for those to apply. There were 2 specific types of grants, large scale and smaller scale, for that total of $5 million. And Flag Cities applied on our behalf, including those parks. They have 7 events underneath that umbrella throughout the state.
Gina, also Alex Lallouie told me they're moving that one event to Harrison Stadium, correct?
Which event, Commissioner?
He said something with the Moroccan that was going to happen
versus Brazil. It's going to be held at the Red Bull Sports Illustrated Stadium.
Okay, Craig has got his hand up. Go ahead, Craig.
I just wanted to note what Gina said is that Jersey City is being represented. They have a major event that is scheduled for downtown Jersey City.
And also just to
Just for the record, we're the west side of Jersey City, but okay.
One big happy city, right, Commissioner?
One city, different priorities. As any town has within different sections of its municipality.
Fair enough.
Can I ask a question, Director?
Go ahead,
Is
Bobby.
there anything in North Hudson?
not under our,
Okay. I'm just asking if you know of anything going on in any of the North Hudson parks or the Hoboken Park. For you, Chairman.
oh, sure. I can absolutely send you the list of all the events
Thank
going.
you.
Please, yeah, thank you.
Definitely. And like I said, we are working with all the municipalities. We're promoting their events. A lot of them, because of all of these changes, a lot of them took the onus on themselves and are doing smaller community events, which is the goal. One of the main goals of this is to really focus on our small businesses, give access to our residents and visitors alike, and really showcase what Hudson County has to offer. We are not excluding any cultural organizations or any. This is the time to celebrate all of the amazing teams and countries around the world. So we're not, we're doing the best to be as inclusive as possible.
Director, also, I'm working with Outfront. They're offering one of their billboards to put anything we want, a public service announcement. I'll call you offline. And if you'd like to put something up, that'd be great with all the different events in the county.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner.
No problem.
I just wanted to add too that recently Sports Illustrated Stadium did take on events. So they will be doing 40 days of FIFA related events there as well. With respect back to the office, 0 vacancies, 0 new positions. Some line items that increased more than 5% are our computer software and licenses. We had to increase this line item as we moved our grants management platform under this line item, which hosts all of our grant applications to the public, along with our historical walking tour website and 4 annual Photoshop licenses. We also had some copier expenses that increased due to events and flyers and programs, et cetera. And we also had some outside services, which increased in funding for our 3 major programs: Sports and Education Program, Arts and Education Program, and our Hudson County Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony, which is happening in October.
Yeah, on that last one, because that's a huge increase. Can you provide, because I'm looking to maybe transfer some dollars out of that. You went from paid or charged last year at 579 to 786,000. That's a very significant increase. That's 6 to 8. It's like 33, over 30% increase. I really need to understand what that is. Every year it looks like your paid and charged is usually 15% below whatever your adopted budget is. So I really need to trying to find dollars to move around. I really need to get my arms around what you've paid or charged under that line item to date, and then projections of what there will be during the last, say, 6 months of the year. We could get that as soon as possible.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, thank you, Gina. Gina, keep up that good work you do with that sports program in the gyms with all the schools from throughout the county. It's an excellent program.
Thank you, Chairman.
Yeah, maybe you could figure out a way to do a summer program now that the schools of technology got rid of the Fun Fit summer camp they do, which I just found out about like a day ago.
Okay.
It's like 400 to 500 students a year that won't have a program now.
Was that through the Parks Department sports program?
No, it's through the schools of technology.
Oh, okay.
They ran a summer Fun Fit, they called it, camp. And now when we were told what was cut, nobody told me that was cut, but I found out yesterday that's DOA.
Okay.
Okay, next, we're going to administration and county executive.
Commissioners, that's book 1, section 2. It's starting on page 40.
How many more do we have today?
Just 2 more, just the county executive and finance.
And Department of Human Resources as well, Commissioner.
I don't have it on the schedule. Okay. All right, I'll add it on. I don't have it on, but go ahead. Human Resources, you said, right? Okay.
Administration and county executive are up now.
Okay, go get him, Cheryl.
What page is that? What book? I'm sorry.
44? No,
It's
42.
section starting on page 40.
What book? Book
What
2,
book?
right?
Book 1.
Oh, thank you.
Chairman, it's David Drummeller for the county exec's office and the county administrator's office. The county exec's office we will start with, if that's all right with you.
Go ahead.
There are no new positions and no vacancies listed in their budget. When you look through their budget and look at their total O&E, it is increasing by only 3%. And there really aren't a lot of excessive increases throughout, because they average out to, as I said, a 3% increase overall.
What are your seasonals? You got 15,000 for seasonal. Seems to be a recurring number.
Commissioner, and a lot of the director's offices and the executive offices, you'll see this, you're correct, Commissioner, you'll see this in most director's offices. We do put a line item of 15,000 for seasonal help, considering that a lot of these offices are much smaller in scale compared to, say, the parks or corrections. Any little change can cause an over expenditure in the budget, so it gives us the flexibility to hire seasonal staff in case we're short on, if we need additional work to do without hiring a full-time employee. So that's why I see that in multiple smaller departments, because it gives us that flexibility without hiring the full-time person.
So can you show me for this office or generally how much was spent on that? Because I don't remember. The only places I know where seasonals get hired are like in parks, right? They get that. That's a major seasonal place of hiring. So when we get to that, I expect to see a large amount and a large number. I don't remember seeing it in almost any of these places where you've got it locked in. So if you can demonstrate how much was expended in 24 and then 25 final charge for that under that, I'd be curious to see that.
Okay.
I think it's just where you put money when you need money at the end of the year. But you may prove me wrong.
It also gives us the opportunity to hire interns or hire kids, take them off the street.
Yeah, Craig, if that's what it is with you, then I got
Right.
no problem with it whatsoever. But
Understood.
I think most places they don't do that. But obviously, you definitely may be one area or one office that could do that.
Okay. Okay.
Good job, guys. Okay, continue.
Chairman, if we make it, we'd like to move on to the county administrator's office, unless there's.
Dave, just one last question. Sure. So, and this is a good thing, but it's also a way maybe to find a few dollars to move around. Is every year the other expense item, your number, other expenses, final budget, 106, charged 88. 25, final budget 130, charge 101. So every year there seems to be a significant amount not expended, which is good because this is all, a lot of this is meals and furnishings and stuff like that. So is there any reason why you don't think, though you have 130,000 budgeted for, that you're not going to pay and charge by the end of the year closer to 100 to 110,000?
Commissioner, I will tell you actually from working in that office that oftentimes things pop up from time to time, unexpected, and it's often appreciated to have that flexibility for some of the county executives' initiatives.
I'm just saying they haven't. I mean, I'm looking at your doc, right? It just hasn't happened. If you can go back and show me a year in the last 5 years when it did, that would be fine. Otherwise, even if it's only 10 or 15,000, every dollar trying to come up with a significant number for a program is you know, it all adds up. What page is the administration on?
Administration starts on
Onto the-
53.
What page?
53.
53.
Chairman, going to the county administrator's office, we also are not, we have no vacancies and we are not
Okay.
seeking any new positions. We,
So what title within there gets a vehicle allowance? You have one. You mentioned 20 altogether, Abe. I got to be honest with you. I've counted close to that already, just to look on the ones you've gone through today.
You know, Commissioner, I went off the top of my head, I don't track the list. It's not in my office.
Okay.
I'll get you the list though. I told you.
Oh, no, that's fine.
And also, if you can, with regards to that, with the police academy, the one that's getting something there moved over to the sheriff's department. So make sure that the academy doesn't get charged with that one on their thing. Okay. You got that, Abe?
I'm not following you.
The director of training moved over from, he's not at the academy no more. He's over at the sheriff's department. But one of that means the stipend should go to that department. It doesn't stay with the police academy, so he doesn't get charged for it.
I'm sure that was accounted for when the budget was put together.
Okay.
So back to my question.
Go ahead.
I said, which of the job titles under the administrator gets a vehicle allowance?
I believe it is the attorney title.
Which one?
I believe it's the attorney title.
So you have an attorney who generally sits in an office getting a vehicle allowance. Okay.
Commissioner, it's actually the EDC director.
My apologies.
Again, I'm not sure what level of travel an EDC director has. Don't you have an ability to reimburse mileage, Abe, as opposed to do vehicle allowances?
Yes, there is.
And do you do that?
Yes, we do that.
So again, curious question as to why you wouldn't do that with everybody. And then, Abe, I've always wondered this, and I know I might have asked it before, so I apologize if I had. I don't understand why the EDC director isn't just paid through the HCIA, and we just don't we give them the funding every year for the EDC?
Yeah, yes, we do, but the EDC director has always been in my budget. I believe the benefits may be different, so we didn't want to change any of.
Is it based on the medical or other benefits they get?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with what the HCIA provides. So when this individual was assigned to the EDC, it was with the understanding that she would remain a county employee.
So at some point in the future, if the EDC director ever retires, and I'm not encouraging her to do so, then at that point you would move it over to whatever you get funded at the HCIA?
Yes, I believe that we would seek to do that, unless an unusual circumstance occurs that they have to be a county employee. So I can't speak to that in the future, but that would be a consideration.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I would defer to the chair, but at some point, like offline, not through a committee or whatever, I would love to sit down and look at what like EDC does and, whether they're missing funding opportunities. I think there's a lot of potential funding that's out there. I could talk from personal experience and how from our perspective here, we've grown and brought in grants from DCA, DOL, and other sources. And I just, it's not that they're not good. I just think that they've been stagnant and that there's opportunities that they just don't avail themselves of.
Okay, next meeting, have them, have somebody.
Yeah, I would just do it as a committee. I don't want to do it at the meeting.
Yep.
Chairman,
It's an offline conversation.
Okay.
Chairman, if I may, we're going to have that contract sometime next month at one of the meetings. So perhaps we could schedule a meeting prior to when that's going to be on the agenda.
Okay. Move on. Any other questions on administration and county executive? All right, let's go to finance and administration.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Commissioners, Finance and Administration. That's in Book 1, starting on Section 3.
Got it. Okay. Any questions right away before they?
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Go ahead.
I know there's been questions about the ratables and stuff. Don Kenny is in the chambers. So if anyone has any questions about the ratables, the equalization, the ratios, in chambers to answer any of those questions.
Okay. Any commissioners' questions for finance? Who's starting it off?
Yeah, if I can just
go ahead, Al.
If I can ask Don to explain to the rest of the commissioners the way the county equalization process works. In other words, each of the 12 municipalities has their own individual sales ratio decided by Trenton, and that varies from year to year. And that's based upon a study that Trenton does with respect to various sales within that municipality during that sample
How
year.
are you?
But how do we? But I think Don would be helpful.
Cards do you need?
Anthony got his mute.
You got it. It'll be.
I'm sorry.
That's not your fault.
Just call him.
Somebody was talking over me. I don't know.
The chairman. Chairman Romano, can you mute yourself? Okay, he's good. Go ahead, Al.
So what I was hoping was that maybe Don could give a primer to the other commissioners online just to explain how the county tax board equalizes those 12 individual ratios so that each municipality pays their fair share of the county levy. So if Don can do that succinctly, I don't want to overly complicate it, but I think that would be a good educational process for the commissioners.
Okay, briefly, what happens is every October 1st, the state publishes what's called an equalization ratio for every town in the state. And that ratio is used to equalize the city's rateable base up to 100%. Because every town, if they haven't done revals in a while, their rateable base is well below 100% of market value. So you take that ratio, divide it by the assessed value, and that gives you your equalized value. That's added up with all 12 counties, and then you take the individual equalized value of your town, divide it by the total, and that basically gives you the percentage of your share of the county taxes.
So Don, that's why when we look at the current figures, there's 2 municipalities among the 12 that seem to get a. I'm sorry about my voice is raspy. I'm sorry, but that seems to highlight 2 of the 12, meaning Jersey City and Kearney, at significant increases. Jersey City being 13.2, Kearney being 15.3. But if you could like micro those two and just highlight why those two show significant increases.
Sure.
Because I think that's important to the mayors of those towns.
Okay. So as far as Jersey City goes, their ratio dropped by 9% between last year and this year, coupled with an increase in their assessed value of about 1.6 billion, which is 3%. So that puts them among the top three of the towns that took the biggest hit. And then Kearney, their ratio dropped 14%. And they're by far the biggest percentage increase. Every other town was 9% or less, and some of them 5%.
Now, just to highlight Kearney, because that's in my district, their state director's ratio in 2025 was about 18.6%, meaning that the typical assessment on the books of the assessor in Kearney, that those assessments, the average assessment, only represented about 18.6% of the true market value for tax purposes of that particular property, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And this year, that
when was their last reval?
1980.
Well, I mean, that's my, I'm coming to that question.
All right, I'm sorry.
So this year, that 18.6 went down again to 16.08, and that's because the disparity between the assessed value on the tax assessor's rolls compared to the true value, the current true value based upon the state director's sales study, has decreased again, so that the true value of the properties is more than, because you always have to, what it's a percentage, you always have to divide by a percentage, which means you're multiplying, which gets people confused. But one of the problems, or not problems, but one of the questions I have is, of all the towns in the county, Kearney seems to be at the lowest state director's ratio at 16.08%. And that's probably a product of the fact that Kearney has not had a townwide revaluation. I'm going to guess 1985, 1986.
85 is correct, Commissioner.
Yeah. And normally the state would do a coefficient of deviation study in order to decide whether or not it should order a particular municipality to undergo a reval. And I'm curious as to why that has not happened in Kearney. Do you have any understanding why that has not happened?
I don't. What I can tell you, Commissioner, is that every year letters are sent to every county board and the towns that are on the letter, basically stating if a town is out of compliance and lack of uniformity to perform a reval. And for the past several years, the three towns that have been on our list have been Kearney, Secaucus, and West New York. And they're the three towns that haven't performed a citywide revaluation since I've been the administrator, which is almost 24 years.
No, I understand. And the state will allow, my experience is that the state will allow a municipality that's been targeted for suggested that a reval be undergone. The state will allow you a couple of years to come to that conclusion on your own. But at the end of the day, they're going to order it. The state's going to order it. Is that correct?
Well, again, since I've been the administrator, that's only happened once. And that was with Jersey City back, I don't know, I think we ordered them in 2018. And when the mayor at the time got elected, he chose not to do the reval. And then a few years went by and the state came in and said, look, you have to get it done. Other than that, hasn't been any put at us at all.
Well, we all are big people, and we all understand that a reval is a four-letter word, and nobody likes to undergo that. But for the equities among local taxpayers, sometimes you have to swallow that poison pill and go through it. But okay, that's all I want to say about it. But all right, but Kearney's the last. I mean, they're the longest running town without a reval, I think. among the 12?
They're in the top three. They're probably number one. Again, Secaucus, West.
Yeah, all right, okay, all right.
Hey,
Thank
Don, it's Anthony. I just want to tell you thank you. In my 17 years, this is the lowest Hoboken has been.
That's not always a good thing.
I thought you did a tax appeal on the bar. That's why you were thanking.
Okay.
So Don, no, I have questions for Don.
Go ahead, Don.
So Don, a couple of questions. So as it relates to Jersey City, you in part equate that $800 million of pilot assessment is now on the books. Am I accurate with that? Is my recollection of that correct?
According to their 2026 tax list, that's what it shows.
So I mean, my fear is that I was in one meeting where people are suggesting that they extend tax abatements. So I don't know if they're going to do that, but obviously they're encouraged, right, in a sense, to do that, because by doing that they pay us less, right, and they keep more of the money.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits.
Yeah, so I mean, be careful what you wish for when numbers like that are done. The other thing is what level of appeal are there in Jersey City as it relates to those tax appeals that are not going to, I guess, come to your board, but find themselves in the court system because it's not a 2-family home or a 1-family home. Because my concern is that in recent years, the city has undertaken a policy, and I've never known if you've weighed in on it, that assesses properties post planning board approval as if they have a CO.
Yeah, that's a practice that's allowed. They've been doing that for a while. Even the former assessor that's since retired kind of started that. And there are other spoken to just statewide that do that as well, because when you have approvals to build, it makes the land more valuable.
But it doesn't make it valuable to the level of what it's worth when it has a completed construction and a CO, because obviously the time, which is probably 2 to 3 years between approval and construction CO, there's zero revenue from the property.
That's true, Commissioner, but I think their thinking is that if the property, received the approvals, it makes it worth more. And if they were to sell the property with approvals, it's worth a lot more than it would be if they just sold vacant land with no approvals.
I agree with you, but it's not worth the value of what it has when it gets a C of O.
It would also have a building assessment on it too once they get a CO.
That's correct. I mean, the CO references not the land, but the building.
But Al, I will show you land assessments that the land assessment, based on review of a pro forma post CO, equates to 20% of the rent paying taxes.
Well, I don't know what assessor does that. I don't do that, but.
Well, I'm just telling you like that, I can sit down with you and show you cases of it. I'm just concerned about what that means in appeal.
Jersey City is, so I'm not going to use the word unique, but Jersey City is kind of a special. I mean, what's going on in Jersey City with land, with development is I don't think in my tenure, I've been an assessor for 40 years. I don't see that. I mean, it's crazy. It's off the charts. But when you get the approvals, you're right. I can see that the assessor's going to, once the planning board approves, then the assessor's going to go in and hit it. But, and once the CO is built, once the CO is issued and the property is built and the CO is issued, then that's a different ballgame. That's the improvement.
All right, let's.
My comments weren't really aimed at Jersey City.
I understand. I understand. I'm sensitive.
My comments were just aimed at everybody trying to understand how the equalization works in each of their 12 municipalities.
All right, Billy,
I'm just
anything else,
saying if-
Billy, with that? Anything else, Bill, before we?
Yeah,
move
no,
on?
my sensitivity is the fact that if you over assess those post approval pre-CO, then ultimately they appeal. The appeal takes 3 years or more. The appeal is won, right? And when the appeal is won, the city, if I'm incorrect, Don, correct me. The city then has to pay them or credit them the amount of dollars. But what happens is there's no. To what degree are we then giving a rebate on the county taxes that were paid?
Well, any,
Yeah, but Don, doesn't in your formula, don't you give a credit back to the city?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I see
for,
that.
for appeals that have been paid for successful appeals. There's a credit that goes back to the city for that, right?
it's on the charts that you all have. The tax appeal credits are in there, and the way they're calculated
Yeah.
is judgment
That's
that
what I want. How are they calculated? That was my question.
any judgments that are issued in the calendar year prior to this year's equalization, so January 1 to December 31st, whether it's before the board, an added assessment, or a tax court judgment, gets factored into that number. And also, if the tax court case is for multiple years, and sometimes it
It
is,
almost always is.
yes, you're right.
Almost always is.
Those years are calculated into it as well. For example, if the case is settled for 21, 22, and 23, we take the county portion of the rate for those years, multiply it by the reduction, and that's how it gets calculated into that number.
So then the city would get 3 years back.
All right, guys, let's
Yeah.
get back on track
Bill,
with this, please.
Well, no, this is important. No, but Bill is correct and Don's correct in that the tax appeals, the way they get, especially high-end tax appeals, other than 1 or 2 family homes, the high-end tax appeals are generally done in they're settled in a multiple number of years, 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. And so they get lumped together at the tax court and get settled, but they're big numbers at that point.
Yep.
Okay.
Thanks, Al.
Next question.
No, now you're up to the director. Right? Now we're up to finance. The county administrator offered the Don up as a prelim.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Commissioners. Finance and Administration is Book 1, Section 3, starting at page 60.
So again, every division has $15,000 for seasonal staff.
That's correct. And we actually do, not consistently, but most years we do hire summer seasonal staff in purchasing, in accounts and controls, finance and administration. We do often hire summer workers to come in and help out with filing, putting things away. There are some interns, some of the internships are not paid, but some are. But we do use that from time to time.
Yeah, so if you could show me what you used, how much was spent on it last year, I'd be curious to see. And what I would suggest is that we get a little creative and ascertain if there are other funding sources for those summer internships. For instance, to Mayor Solomon's credit, he's creating 700 summer jobs. Are some of those individuals we can utilize from Jersey City in lieu of having to spend any of these dollars?
That's fine, Commissioner. And yeah, there used to be years ago, we used to get a lot more outside funding to fund the summer program. It has gone down significantly over the years. And I'm not quite sure. I think when Director Gibney comes up for Human Resources, she may be able to update us on where we are with this year's summer program, but that's a great idea.
And then who are the 2 job titles that get vehicle allowances?
That would be the the director, myself, and the division chiefs.
Well, no, this is just for this office. This has two. Just for this, just for your office, there were two.
Yes, myself, the director, and the deputy director.
So the deputy director gets one also.
Yes.
And then, is there a reason? Is it because of your license that you get a $5,000 stipend? Is that standard?
No, I'm also the deferred compensation plan administrator. That's the reason for the stipend.
Okay, yeah, I figured it was something else that you did. Okay. All right, so now do you want us to go through each division, I guess, while you're here?
Sure.
All
Did provide a memo. We have the Division of Accounts and Controls,
Okay.
which basically is the equivalent of the controller's office. We do all accounts payables, payroll comes out of there. We do all of the accounting functions, reconciling accounts, keeping the general ledger, preparing the AFS, managing the debt. In that position, in that division, we have no vacancies and no new positions.
And how much did you bill last year from overtime? And what titles within that division are expending overtime? Obviously, you don't. We are in that division. Like,
They would be.
How much was expended last year on overtime for that division?
That number to you in just a second, but I can answer in terms of the titles. A lot of the accounts payable clerks, some of the assistants. We went a few years ago, Commissioner, you may remember, we undertook a project where we identified which county staff were eligible for overtime and which were not. And
Right.
based on that, those are the people that if they work the extra hours, are entitled to overtime. And that would be in any of the divisions in the department.
So in 24, you budgeted 65, you billed, I rounded up 50. Last year you budgeted 60, you billed 42.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Right, we don't know in advance what the overtime needs are going.
Understood. I'm just trying to see where based on what has happened in the past, there are opportunities to handle it. And to go back to your office, you had 35,000 in overtime.
Yeah.
Who in your office gets overtime? You only got 5 employees.
Is entitled to overtime.
Who's that? The accountant? I mean, obviously.
Also, the budget assistant.
You and the deputy are not entitled to it, right?
We do not get overtime. We're not entitled to overtime.
So you have an accountant, a management assistant, and a secretary.
Yes, they are all based on the project that was undertaken are all entitled to overtime. So that would be the assistants to the budget of the deputy director, who's the budget officer. Both of his staff are entitled, and my assistant as well.
I'd just be curious how you can't better manage overtime. That would just be a general observation that I would make. I'm not going to do a deep dive into it. That's all I have on accounts and control. And you answered the question. The vehicle allowance goes to the director of that division, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I think your number 28 is going to be pretty low when we get through the whole thing.
I'm sorry, would you say that again, Commissioner?
No, I said I think Abe Anton's number that there are only 20 people that get vehicle allowance is going to be low when we get through going through all the departments and divisions, countywide.
Right, we're going to provide you with that information.
Yep. Yeah, probably will get it if I want to. So now you're up to purchasing, where there are actually vacancies?
Correct. We have, unfortunately, sometimes a lot of turnover in that department. As you can, I'm sure you've seen from our memo. We do have vacancies. We do intend to fill the vacancies, and we have filled them. But like I said, we've had a lot of turnover. We have people that come and stay for maybe 8 months, a year. For some reason, they leave.
What do you attribute that?
I'm not quite, I think people come in with one understanding of what the work is. And then once they get there, perhaps, it's not what they expected it to be. But we do exit conferences, and they find other jobs and they leave,
Other places probably pay more money.
perhaps. And then we have a vacancy, which is we are actively recruiting right now another purchasing agent to be the QPA for the county.
But you currently don't have one, right?
We currently do have one, but that person has been moved back up, is an attorney, and is back in the law department. And we need a full-time QPA in the Division of Purchasing.
And neither of your assistants are QPAs?
Neither of them are QPAs, correct.
Okay. So is that posted?
Yes, it's posted. It's posted on Indeed. It's posted with the New Jersey League of Municipalities. And I believe we're also going to be posting, if we haven't already, with the Purchasing Agents Association and the Government Finance Officers Association.
How long have you when did that person move back to the law department?
It's been
2 years.
2 years now.
Whoa. So who is even though they're in the law department, are they still functioning?
Correct, which is why we need a full-time person to do that. Yes. In New Jersey, because it requires the license.
Yep,
and
I'm very familiar with it.
Sure, you're familiar with it, Commissioner. It's not that easy to get people.
I don't disagree with you at all.
The Office of Grants Management.
Hold on, I just had a question. You have so under audit services, right?
Under what?
Audit.
You have audit services, other expenses, professional and consulting fees. That may be its own division. Hold on. Let's see what that is.
That is our auditor, our auditing firm.
I know what that is. No, I know what it is. I just want to know what you have. Is it listed as auditor? It's listed as audit. So audit, you don't have a charge yet for this year, for last year.
No, they just started preparing the audit in the last month or so. But at the time we did the books, we hadn't paid anything, but we have processed a voucher for that auditor as of today.
So what was the amount approved by resolution?
Not to exceed. Oh, John is looking it up. I believe it's not to exceed.
Give me
Just
one
give me a
second.
second. We'll give you the exact amount. And just while John is looking that up for me, just know also, in addition to doing the audit, which I'm sure you're aware of, Commissioner, we also have to compensate the auditor for their opinions being used in any debt offerings that we do. So if we do a lease installment through the Improvement Authority, when we do the offering statement, an auditor report has to go in there. We have to compensate the auditor for that. Some of it comes out of the cost of issuance.
Yeah, I was going to say, shouldn't most of it come out of your issuance cost?
Some of it does, but we don't, some of our cost of issuance, for instance, when we do issue debt for the schools, we don't have cost of issuance. When we do auctions, public auctions, there's no cost of issuance that we get paid for. So some of that we have to pay for out of the county budget.
Commissioner, back to your question. on that initial resolution that was passed in March of this year, it's 237,500 for the general county audit, and then an additional 59,500 for social services. The section that the director was alluding to for the administration, the offering statements, that's charged separately to the administration of debt service account. That's not included in this.
You wouldn't see that here anyway. All right, so if you can just go and provide us for 22 and 23, what was budgeted and what was charged? Because 2025, you don't have charge yet, I guess, because they haven't finished the audit.
Correct, and just so you know, even for those years, this includes the cost includes the outside departments. Some of those for those years haven't been completed yet. So even though I will give you what's charged out, there's still more that we owe the auditor once those outside department audits are completed.
Okay, now you're up to grants management.
Office of Grants Management, yes. That is the office that manages all of our grants, make sure we're compliant, files when it's not done by the individual departments, all of the reporting requirements. And in that department, we have funded one vacancy for 1 month. That is a person that retired and used to handle several grants. And we do hopefully find somebody to fill that position before near the end of the year, because we only funded it for 1 month. Can I proceed, Commissioner?
Just so grants management. All right, so grants management, you oversee the grants you have. You don't have any staff in there who would actually seek to apply and write grants. That would be another department, correct?
No, we actually, we do manage the contract with our outside grants consultant. But generally our outside grants consultant will do that, or the departments are very resourceful in finding grants themselves, but our office is the central office to manage that. We make sure that the proper process takes place. It comes before the board. We make sure the money is inserted in the budget. We make sure the budgets are complied with. So it's a combination.
But generally, the outside consultant doesn't write grants, right? They identify grants and may assist a grant writer. Are we paying them to actually write all the grants?
No, they may write or assist with the assistance of the departmental staff, depending on which department it is, may assist in writing the grants.
Yeah, but they're not.
They're not sitting
They're
down.
not writing the grants. Yeah, I've read their contract. They're not writing that. All right, keep rolling, Director.
The Division of Information Technologies, there, I believe we have one vacancy. We had a gentleman that was here for a few months. He left in January, and we are actively trying to fill those positions. Currently, we have a
I'm on a conference call right now on my regular thing.
Al, you're not muted.
Let me give you the number.
Al, we're hearing you, Al. Go ahead,
All right,
Cheryl.
I'm sorry, let me mute myself.
Go ahead,
I'm
Cheryl.
sorry.
Finish it up.
Let me get to another room.
We have
I'm contaminating my,
where we have an employee from
no. Let me,
Al, we're still hearing you, Al. You got to mute.
we have an employee that we are leasing for lack of a better term, to fill a vacancy that we had in that office. There's only 3 positions in that office, and we basically, that's where we are.
So you have 2. What do you mean when you're leasing a person?
We have made an arrangements with our outside vendor, Hindsight, to bring in one of their employees to work solely for the county.
What's the contract amount with Hindsight?
Oh,
80,000 and change.
no, he wants the full
Oh,
contract. amount.
contract.
It's, let me get you the exact amount. It's like 20,
Yeah, there's,
27 million, because it changes every year.
I have to pull it up.
Well, I'll get that to you, Commissioner.
And how long has Hindsight been the person, been the,
Well, in one form or another, Hindsight has been our outside vendor. When I say one form or another, because, at one point, they were assumed by another company, but I've been, pretty much as long as I've been here, which is, I guess, a good 20 some odd years. But we do a competitive process.
The total of the existing contract is 11.6 million.
Thank you.
how much?
11.6 million.
Holy that's how much we pay in Hindsight?
But that's a 5-year contract, Commissioner.
Oh, so you have to, is it go up every year or is it a flat 2.5?
Approximately 6% a year, give or take.
And what year are we in of that contract?
This is the final year. This is year 5. The RFP for the replacement has been issued already.
Thank you, Walt. That's correct.
Can you share that? Can someone email that to us?
It's on the portal, but
No, but that's a lot of work to go on the portal.
excuse me?
Send me a copy of it.
Okay.
And then under that division, you had historically listed substantive requests for equipment, but never purchased them, right? Like in 24, you asked for 450, you only charged 72. 25, you asked for 250, and you only charged 82. This year, you're only asking for 80. Is there something I'm missing as to what equipment you needed and why you neither got it, no longer need it?
I'm going to ask Walt to chime in on this. At the time, we did not have a dedicated full-time county employee staffing that division. And now, since we brought on a full-time division chief, I think we're doing a lot more in making sure that the county has the equipment and the resources it needs. Walt, could you respond to that?
Sure. I think one of the issues has been in previous years, the goal was to keep some money as a placeholder in case the equipment was needed. And that's one of the things that, as I was trying to tighten the budget over the last 2 years, noting that the equipment wasn't necessarily required in previous years. So I moved that money to the service contracts to accommodate for things that we actually will be needing in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions there for Cheryl? Okay, thank you, Cheryl.
Well, you got more things. She's going division by division.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I think we've done all of the divisions. What we have now is that's our insurance, because we do fund the insurance out of the Department of Finance and Administration.
Yeah, so if you can explain it, right? You've got liability insurance, right? Which was 3.4 million in 24.
Budgeted.
No, charged. I'm looking at charge. I go to charge at the end of the day. I look at budget and then go to charge. Liability insurance budgeted 3.4, charged 3.4.
Yes.
2025 adopted 3.75, charged 5.2 million. So what is that discrepancy based on?
First,
$1.5 million.
First of all, Commissioner, let me just say that when we generally do charge the full amount out because we move it into the self-insurance fund. So over the years, at one point, we funded the self-insurance fund so that we had, if you will, a fund balance, which allowed us to not have to fund in the budget, have to move so much on a year-by-year basis.
Okay.
This year, as I'm sure all of the commissioners are aware, we have a big issue with the workman's comp insurance, and also out of that line item, we also have the health insurance.
So hold on, let's do liability insurance first.
Okay.
Why was that overcharged by 1.5 million of what was adopted?
I believe that's because when we had reserves left.
So Commissioner, the director mentioned earlier, the amount that we put in the budget is the county's contribution to the self-insurance fund. So that's why you, that the amount budgeted is it's equal to the amount that's paid a charge in most instances, with the exception of the one that you're referring to, the 5.2 million. That's, remember the budget transfers. We did numerous budget transfers at the end of last year, and we did appropriation transfers in the first 3 months of this year. Most of them, we were taking funds from every account to do these budget transfers to show up the self-insurance fund, which consists of the liability insurance and the workers' comp claims. So that's why you saw an increase there on the paid charge of 5.2 against the budget, because that includes those end of year and current, well, the first 3 months of this year appropriation reserve transfers.
All right, so if you go to workers' comp, that is the same, although a bigger issue for last year, right? So your workers' comp went from 3.75 adopted to 6.9 charge. If you add those two together, you're at almost $5 million. And you're just saying that was because of the demands to fund the workers' comp self-insurance liability?
Correct. That's a fund that we have there.
So it was nothing extraordinary?
No, it's just every year there's an increase in the cost of workman's comp claims, as we've noticed over the last 3 to 5 years. It's progressively been increasing.
Well, if it's been progressively increasing, why do you have $3 million budgeted only for this year, which is not only 3.9 million less than you charged, but 750,000 less than you adopted last year?
Because we do budget transfers at the end of the year to show up the accounts. That's been a practice we've been doing for numerous years now.
Based on yours, that's a $5 million, it's a potential $4 million charge.
Yes, and we also have, as the director alluded to earlier, there are reserves in the account. So it's not like the budget account that begins and ends in a calendar year. It rolls over from year to year.
Right. And then lastly, you have group insurance, which I guess is the exorbitant increase in health insurance, which went from 54 charged to 61 charged, 62 almost charged, to 85 budgeted. That 85 is based on the contract changes that the provider has?
Yes, the 85 million is what we expect we're going to pay out this year in 2026 for health insurance. One of the things that is affecting the county, and not just the county, but I'm sure you've seen in the paper, all the school districts and all the other municipalities, basically almost all the local governments in the state of New Jersey, is that for state health insurance, the state health insurance benefits plan, the increase for 2026 was 36.2%. It's a tremendous increase on one of our largest single line items in the budget, which is one of the reasons why we're going up $22 million in the appropriation.
And Abe, the reason you can't opt out of state health benefits and go to a provider that provides the same level of services, same doctors, but is substantively cheaper?
Contractual, isn't it?
About 25 years ago or so, under the Christie administration, I believe, they provided health insurance premiums so that there were 2 months that the county opted to exercise. So if we were to leave state health benefits, we would have to pay the current charge, which is about $18 million to get out, give or take. I don't know, Eleanor, am I close on that?
That's approximately correct, because we paid at the current rates.
Correct.
That combined with the fact that our experience rating is not that great.
Yeah, when we looked at that, I think Eleanor, Director Givney shared that with me, and she can elaborate when it comes to her department, but for every dollar that we contribute, I think we wind up paying like $1.20 to
Well,
$1.30.
Recently, we're up to, I just got new experience, and Commissioner, we're up to about 151% is what we're charging the state. We're costing the state on every dollar they're getting for us. So we're a very high-risk group.
So you're saying that even though you're gonna pay $24 million more, they're still losing money on us, you project?
Correct.
So I assume that you not hypothetically, that you shopped what alternatives were, and based on that, you wouldn't recoup the 18 million over 1 year, because again, this may go up 20% more next year. Right? No one knows. But it continues to go up. And look, what I've just learned recently, having to deal with it on a micro level, is that the state that entity competes with nobody. So they don't feel that they're not going to try to compete with any other outside provider. So again, what it is like I've watched Jersey City save $25 million. Now, I don't know why our risks are so much greater, right? They've got similar departments, but I'd at a minimum, look, I'm not looking at you change the budget, but I'd at a minimum, you've got someone who does these analyses, right, from the outside, Abe?
Yes.
Can't they just go out and do an assumption and talk to whatever? There's only probably it's United or Oxford. There's probably Aetna's the one Jersey City wound up. There's only like a handful of groups. I would be curious to at least look from the long-term perspective if it's an option. I'm not disputing what you're saying as to what you're charging versus what you're paying, but I just see other places doing it and getting savings. And I agree that your savings is probably not in 1 year, but that your savings, could be over multiple years, and you've got to just look at that. Can you have someone just do that? I'm not looking to change anything right now, but like I think somebody's got to look at what's long term. If you never have control over this, and next year it goes up another 20%, and then the following year another 20%, and you could have saved $15 million a year with another entity. Well, that's 45 million, and it costs you 18 million to get 45 million. And I understand that 18 million may hit you in 1 year, but you got to look at things long term, not just 1 year at a time.
I don't disagree, Commissioner. We did meet with someone earlier this year. I don't know what happened to that. I presume that, and I don't want to presume, but maybe Eleanor may have more information, but they didn't come back to us with anything, and we gave them all the information that they requested.
Well, don't you have somebody that's like, I guess, paid not as an employee but outside that does it? Would actually benefit from it, although depending what their agreement is, they may benefit more by whoever you have now.
Commissioner, and I don't mean to interrupt Abe, but That, yes, we're considering all that. We just got our most recent claims experience. We implemented last year the difference card, which was able to offer some savings to the county as well to our employees. A small number chose it, but we're looking at ways that we can work with what we have and to introduce cost savings both for the county and for our employees.
Okay. I guess that's it for finance.
We just have one more, and that's Director Givney, Human Resources, and then we're done for today.
Human Resources is in Book 1, Section 4.
So who are the two? Are the two vehicle allowances the director of the department and the director of the division?
Correct.
Okay. What the attorneys are just can you explain what the attorneys do, what their responsibilities are?
The one attorney is in charge of all the grievances and scheduling the hearings, the disciplines, issuing the opinions. The other attorneys are hearing officers and our complaint investigators. And Sean Diaz, the Director of Labor Relations, is also an attorney.
I guess he also does the negotiating
He does.
for the contract negotiations. And I guess the reasons why that you have no other expenses charged in 24 is that you weren't a department?
Correct.
You have 825,000 in seasonal pay. Is that because all these little $15,000 add up to 825,000?
I'm sorry, Commissioner, where are you seeing?
Commissioner, that's regular salary.
The Director of Human Resources 2026 budget says regular pay. Oh, I'm sorry, it's regular pay. I apologize.
That's
Thought it
okay.
was seasonal pay. And then in Division of Human Resources, is that yours?
That is.
What's the vacancy?
There is an analyst trainee that's budgeted for 2 months.
One month.
1 month. Oh,
And then this also has 3 attorneys. One full-time and 2 part-time.
correct. The Sean Diaz is under the director's office and the others are Vincent, not to give names, but Vincent Signorelli is the full-time, and then I had the 2 part-times who are hearing officers.
And what is the full-time attorney do?
He coordinates our hearings and grievances.
Yeah, but it looks like it's in 2. There are attorneys listed in 2 separate areas.
Correct. One is listed under the director's office as labor relations. And
Like,
then
you mentioned grievances before, and now you're mentioning it again. So is
collectively it described all the attorneys to you. I wasn't distinguishing where they're assigned.
so you have what 5? I gotta go back to the other page. What's the total number of attorneys you have exclusive of Sean, because he's not given the title as an attorney?
Well, his title is attorney. I have 2 full-time, that's John Haberman and Vincent Signorelli. And then I have
Okay.
2 part-times who are hearing officers.
All right. So under your department, you have 2 full-time attorneys listed,
Correct.
right? And then under the division, you have 1 full-time and 2 part-times listed. That's a total of 5. You also have a director of labor relations, which you had said was Sean.
That is his title. His role is Director of Labor Relations.
I know, but there are salaries allocations to the attorney, and there are salary allocations to the director of labor relations.
And I listed all the attorneys. I identified Sean Diaz as the one.
Okay.
And then at the time that the budget was probably given to you, another attorney just left in April. So that's what's still happening. He retired in April. And he was replaced with a part-time hearing officer.
So then that's savings. So if you replaced a full-time attorney with a part-time hearing officer, then that's less money that you need. I'll take your silence as a yes.
Well, I promoted one with a different role. But that you're asking for the count. That's why the count was off, because one has since retired. Just recently, last month.
Got it.
So I haven't had.
I'm confused. Is Sean counted as an attorney, or is he counted as
Director of labor relations?
director?
So I could not submit the vacancy for the attorney at the time because I was not aware that one attorney was retiring.
Well, that was my question. My question was, when you've counted 5 attorney spots, right?
Right. And
but is Sean Diaz, is he counted among those 5, or does he have a separate line item as the director?
Commissioner Scalia, myself, because you were referring, the information you have includes one of the attorneys who left last month. So I also want to correct myself that the part-time hearing officer replaced another employee who left my office and went elsewhere in the county. So in terms of the attorney who left, I couldn't add that vacancy because this was all put out to you prior to retiring.
Right, but you currently
goes back.
Yeah.
My question goes back to when you have the total count of attorneys, you're not including Sean Diaz, right?
Commissioner Cifelli, Sean Dias is listed as Director of Labor Relations.
correct.
Yes, but he's not counted among the 5 attorneys.
Correct. I was
All right.
that the one attorney had just left last month. So that was my error to add Sean as an attorney.
So you had an attorney that left a month ago. And what was the salary of that attorney?
I believe it was about 130.
Approximately 135.
135.
And what are the plans for that position?
I need to fill that position. They handle all our complaint investigations that we're able to handle in-house rather than having to go outside counsel.
So you didn't replace them with a hearing officer?
No, as I apologize, I corrected myself.
Sorry, you don't have to apologize. No need to apologize.
Hearing officer replaced another hearing officer who transferred to another department in the county. All these were very recent, so they haven't been updated in these documents.
And again, if I look at your Division of Human Resources, you are actually requesting almost $200,000 less than you charged last year, a year ago. Your charge for 2025, 1,437,379. Your request, which the executive didn't change, is 1,246,542.
You're speaking other expenses or salaries?
I'm speaking salaries and wages, Division of Human Resources.
And you can't compare apples to apples. There were employees who came from other departments and were transferred into the new department when it was created.
I'm just reading the document that you've given us, which listed a paid and charged for years where I guess it was a division under some other department. Where was it? Where was this division before?
Under finance administration.
So maybe what I need to do is add your director office numbers to the other amount, right? Is that
correct?
How do I make it, John? How do you make apples to apples out of this?
Commissioner, so prior to the reorganization, it was the Division of Personnel. After the reorganization, you had the split, but still the same same umbrella of the Department of Human Resources, the Director's Office of Human Resources, and the Division of Human Resources. There will be a change and increase because there were employees that were in the law department who were serving the labor functions, such as Sean Dias, Director of Labor Relations, who moved down into the Director's Office of Human Resources. So there will be an increase there, but that was simply a reallocation of personnel from law to the new Department of HR.
All right, I gotta go. Can you do a memo that explains and reconciles that? Because this is the one area that's it's difficult to follow a new department where you're moving people from another department, which ultimately would either result in this looking like a substantive increase over year.
I will do so.
I don't have anything else. Is that the last one, Abe?
Yes, we're done. I don't know if there's any other questions from any of the other commissioners.
No.
No, thank you. Have a good day, everybody. See you tomorrow.
All right, then.
The one thing, you're right, before you jump, the one thing I spoke to the chairman about yesterday, and I don't care if we do it at the end of it or before, Abe, we want to do a committee meeting related to the courthouse park.
Okay.
So I don't know, would you prefer to do it at the end, which could be 4 or 4:30, depending on how long the committees go, or would you want to try to do it a half hour before?
That's all the party involved. Could be before, could be after for me.
You want to do it after, just in case it took more than 30 minutes and we don't
Okay.
run over. Is that all right, Ant? You're muted.
Commissioner, are you talking about having a meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, when is this happening?
We wanted to do it tomorrow after we did the regular budget hearing.
Yeah, I don't know if we're ready to meet tomorrow,
Or
Commissioner.
not?
Yeah.
Well, then schedule for the caucus after the caucus next week. I'd rather do it in committee than do it publicly. I'll be honest with you. That's up to you.
There's things happening, Commissioner, that I'm waiting on other people from that are not within our county, so I can't move to their answers, so I have their answers.
I very much know that, which is one of the reasons why I felt it important that we have a meeting of the committee, because I'm getting people from other governments contacting me, community leaders constantly contacting me, saying that all the silence and postponing the regular committee meetings are making them, have great angst. And then I'm not sure, I probably have a higher level of information, which I think should be shared with other committee members, especially the commissioner who represents that area now.
I'm just saying I may not have answers for you tomorrow, but happy to talk.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not sure you have answers. I think the purpose of the committee meeting may be to pose to you a number of questions that you can then go back and get us answers for.
Okay.
Does that make
You know,
sense?
I'm happy to, I'm happy to chat. It's not a problem with
Yeah, I
me.
mean, I guess we would need Drumler, Abe, right? He has all the knowledge of the move into the Guarini.
Yeah.
So, though we were told today by the sheriff, he's looking at August and being in September, right? I don't know whether that's
That
true.
was I believe that was a specific group of people he was talking about, Commissioner. When I heard what he said, I thought that was about a specific group of people.
Again, so I think we would want to know in the committee what is the date, a timeline to actually move in. So I think the purpose of the committee was going to be to give an idea of what information I've gotten from other sources, and then ask a series of questions, which you can. You're right. You may not know the answer to them all, but at least you can know what the questions are, and then set up a process to come up with answers. Because these community people are becoming very, concerned. Nobody's talking to them. Things have gotten canceled a couple of times. What's going on? And the longer that stays in the darkness, the more, by human nature, suspicious people just get.
Yeah, Commissioner, I think Jenny and maybe David will be, the right person, so they will guide us to see when is the there is nothing perfect, but perfect time to have the meeting.
Exactly.
Can someone just let me know? I need to run off to something else.
Yeah, I'm done. I just need to put that on the record, and I don't know, Anthony's.
Send me an email, whatever it is going to be, and I'm good. Thanks.
Are we finished? Because I have to go to another meeting.
Separate Zoom for that meeting. I would like to separate these two meetings since this meeting is live streamed. We're going to do a committee meeting. I'd like to set that in a separate Zoom instance, so there's no chance of any leakage from one meeting into the other.
So is there ability to do that without being time specific?
Yes.
Okay. So then what we'll do is near the end of tomorrow's budget hearing, you'll set up a separate Zoom, and then those who need to zoom into it can zoom into it.
Yeah, I'll set it up tonight and send it to you, Commissioner. Okay. You can send it to the committee.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.